Welcome to the TestNG series. In the last video, we have seen how a before method and after method works. In this video, we are going to see how a before class and after class works. See, this is the hierarchy as we discussed earlier. I have a test case, and if you put a before method that executes before every test execution, after method will execute after every test annotated test method. Now we are going to see the before class and after class. As the name says, the before class. This is going to execute before the class. Let's see the example. I'm going to copy this. See, let me change the method name before class. Okay, and the annotation. Let me create an after method also, after class. This is an after class. Let me import this. Okay, we have imported a before class and after class from the TestNG library. Now we are good. As it says, like the before class will execute before executing this class, the test1. Test1 is our class, and after class will execute once it completes the functionality defined inside the test1 class, which means once this whole the before method test2 and then after method whole functionality gets completed, after class will execute and a before class will execute before starting anything. Let's run and see. Because we have only one class, we are running a single class. The before class will execute only once before anything gets performed. After class will execute only once after the class gets completed. Okay, let's run and see. See, in the before class is executed first, and then whatever the result we have seen, a before method test1, after method, before method test2 and after method, the whole functionality, assume this is your class, the before method test1, after method test2 you have, and before executing this whole functionality defined inside the class, the before class executed and after class executed after that. Now let's take two classes. Let me create a one more class here. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me cut this test case and put it on this class. Okay, now we have two classes. This is first class and this is the second class. Okay, now I'm going to create a TestNG for this particular package. Why? Because if I give a right click and run as a TestNG test, this is going to consider a single class. This doesn't know that it has two classes to be picked and executed. For this reason, I'm going to create TestNG XML including these two classes. Let's name this as BeforeClass example. Okay, now this is our TestNG XML. Let's look at the test one. We have a before class, after class, before method, after method, and one test case here. And in new test 2 we have one test case. Let's run this. What happened to this? Before class, before method, first test, after method, and after class. Okay, this is for our first class. This works fine, but coming to the second class which we created, that is not considering this before method, before class. Okay, understand the problem. Okay, here this class doesn't even know that there are before and after annotations defined in the first test. Okay, let us extend this. Extends, what is that? Test 1. Okay, now this new test 2 class is extends test 1, so this should have a visibility of whatever the annotations defined in this test 1. Hope this should work now as expected. Okay, now look at here. Before class, before method, second test. Since this has a visibility of the after method, and again a bit, just a second, let me see. Okay, actually this has executed 3 tests, but we have only 2 test cases. Something is wrong. Let's debug this. Okay, this is our second test. First test executed twice, but the second test has executed only once. This is fine. Before class, before method, second test using TestNG, after method. Okay, since okay, I can explain you this. If you look at this, the before class executed started here and after class ends at this. But within this before class and after class, if you notice, the before method, my second test using TestNG, and after method. Till this you are clear, since you have one test case and you have one before method and after method executed. Because we are extending this new test 2 extends a test 1. This test case is executing twice as part of the superclass and as part of the subclass. So this test executed twice. This is being considered as a test for the second class. Okay, the test which is in the superclass is still being considered as a test case in the subclass. That is the reason in this new test 2 class we have a 2 test cases executed. Where is the console output? See here, this is the second test, this is the first test case, is a before class and after class. If you are extending another class, the superclass test methods are still being executed as part of the superclass and from the subclass. I think that is expected behavior from the TestNG. It's not an issue. That is an expected behavior. And for the class 1, we have a before class, before method, first test using the TestNG, after method, and after class. This is an expected output for this program since we are using an extends. Okay, I'll summarize this example once again. Since we have one test case in the first class and we have one test case in the second class, but this is a subclass extends from the superclass, that is test1. The test method from the superclass executes as part of the superclass and as part of the subclass. That is why we are seeing this test 1 is executing in the subclass and superclass. In the output you see that's executed twice. This is my first test, this is as part of the class 2, this is my first test as part of the superclass, that's a class 1. Hope you understand the concept. Thanks for watching the video. Please feel free to comment your questions in the comment section. Thank you.